Well, Jaguars don't come much more practical and affordable than an X-Type estate. But this one is something really special. A couple of clues to how special it is. You can see on the number plate here, X400, of course, which is the code name for X-Type, and SVO, Special Vehicle Operations. And the other clue are these 4 exhausts that are protruding from underneath the bumper. Well, we're here at the Jaguar Daimler Heritage Trust, and to tell me more about this car and why it's so special is Tony Merrygold. Tony, you look after the collections here at the Jaguar Daimler Heritage Trust, and this is one of those cars, so tell us the story.
Yes, it is, and you're right, it's not just an ordinary estate, and a couple of clues on the back give it away. So there is an all-wheel drive badge on the back, so it's a 4-wheel drive estate. It's got the 3-litre V6 in it, but it's also got a supercharger on it. So it's a little bit tweaked.
A little fruity, as we'd say. Well, it's a great example of the X-Type estate. Of course, this car was launched in the early 2000s and really was the precursor to the XF Sport Brake that we see out on the roads today. And as I say, a real great way into Jaguar ownership and the Jaguar lifestyle, but for those who need room for the family. They are becoming classic cars, but they're still very much in everyday use, aren't they?
Yes, they are. Yeah, very effective, affordable, medium-sized car, but very practical. You know, enough space to put a dog or two in the back if that's what you've got, or a child or two. So.
Well, if you've got dogs and children in the back of this, they'll probably be frightened to death because, as you say, it's got that 3-litre engine with the supercharger. And this is a very special car. These are not the sort of X-Types you're going to be buying on eBay, are they?
Well, correct. In fact, we believe this is the only one, although there is rumour of another supercharged one in existence somewhere in Australia, but I don't know any detail on that. But yeah, so this is unusual. This was specially commissioned. It's what they call a Skunk Works project. The engineering manager at Halewood at the time was asked if it was possible to fit the supercharged engine into the car. And he was given a bit of a brief. They basically gave him a standard production car, so he had to take the original engine out, and they said, oh, there are 2 supercharged engines somewhere hidden away in a container in Whitley. You're going to have to go and find them. So him and his guys went down to Whitley, retrieved these supercharged engines, got them running, and then actually had to do some work to make it fit, because the car wasn't designed to take it. It wasn't just a straight unbolt one and bolt the other one in.
Well, of course, they wouldn't have been able to modify it too heavily, because if you'd have done that, then it would have had to have gone through type approval again and would have been effectively classed as a new car. So they would have had to have worked quite hard, I guess, to ready this car for that sort of power.
Yeah, you're right. And in fact, part of the brief was exactly that. Don't change the floor pan and the structure too much, because if we put it into production, we can't afford to type approve a whole new body. So you've got to find a way of getting the engine in. And one of the main things they had to do was they had to move the battery from the bulkheads to the front of the engine compartment to make space for all of that. But they've managed to get everything in without changing the structure. So if they'd have decided to put it into production, they wouldn't have needed to have gone through type approval for the whole new body shell. So they did manage to get it in and get it working, but I'm not sure what else came along, but for whatever reason, yeah, it was decided not to put it into production, which is a shame, because it's an incredibly capable car. It really is. Yeah.
It really have been a BMW beater had they managed to launch it at the time. And the reason we've got it here is because really for the Jaguar Daimler Heritage Trust, you are known for having the real important icons in Jaguar's history, the C-types, the D-types, the E-types. But actually, you have taken care of the more modern Jaguars, and what the Jaguars, I guess, that we would consider affordable and accessible. The important versions of those are still very much part of what you look after as a trust.
Yes, that's right. We've got an agreement with the company. We still get what we call the first and the last. So we do actually have the first X-Type that came off the production line. We've got another estate, which is one of the last ones that came off as well. That's just an ordinary estate, that doesn't have the supercharged in. So yeah, we get the first and the last as the important ones, but we do also get a lot of the concept cars. And you know, Wayne, we've got a lot of the other concept cars, and this one fits into the same mode. So concept or prototypes or experimental cars, they come to us. because do you know what happens to them if they don't come to us?
They get sold in the open market, surely.
Because if it hasn't passed all of the crash test rules and everything, they get crushed.
Oh, it'd be a terrible waste, wouldn't it?
Absolutely. So we would much rather they came to us, get some use, get shown, get enjoyed by club enthusiasts. We can take them out to events. So yes, even if it's not quite legal in terms of going into production, yes, it's an absolute shame to crush something just because you're not going to start making them by the thousand.
Well, I like to refer to the X-Type as the gateway drug to Jaguar ownership, because it is a car that attracts attention from younger generations, isn't it? And it must be great for you to see younger generations coming into the Jaguar Daimler Heritage Trust building here and learning about cars that perhaps we take for granted, but perhaps they've never even heard of before.
Yes, yeah. I'm not sure I would use the gateway drug terminology there, but certainly as the entry-level car, then X-Type was very much aimed at when the company was under Ford ownership. That was very much where they were trying to position themselves. So the idea isn't that you buy an X-Type, you buy an X-Type as your first Jaguar, and then you go through and hopefully you become a Jaguar owner for life. So you're absolutely right. The X-Type started off as that. The S-Type followed on once you get through to the medium level and so on. And certainly, yes, in terms of the second-hand market, obviously without the supercharger, but yes, they are very affordable. Not every Jaguar owner either aspires to or has to own an E-Type. You can come in at much more practical levels.
Well, the Jaguar Enthusiast Club loves the X-Type and looking forward to celebrating the 20th anniversary in 2021 as part of all of the club events that are going on. But also, this place here where we're filming this and you and I are talking is open to the public and people can come whenever they like, can't they?
Yes, that's right. So our cars are all based in the building that we call the Collection Centre, which is the second of the two buildings at the British Motor Museum. So your normal entry ticket to the Motor Museum allows you into the Collection Centre. I'm fortunate that the whole ground floor is my domain. I do say they're my cars. Sadly, I don't own them. And obviously the upper floor is the overflow collection from the main museum. But yes, so our collection is visible to anyone who comes. And one of the best things I love about this place, from my desk, I can actually hear people go through the doors into the Collection Centre. And I'm not making this up. I keep hearing people go, wow, as they walk through the doors. And that's one of the best parts of my job, so yeah.
Fantastic. Well, thank you, Tony, for bringing this lovely X-Type, this very special X-Type out. And you should come here and say wow as well. Come and have a look around the Jaguar Daimler Heritage Trust building here, right next to the British Motor Museum here in Gaydon in Warwickshire. And you can find all the details on their website for how you get your tickets to come and visit this superb collection.